Hi, welcome to Nollywood Online Film School, and my name is Emmanuel Eyaba, and I'm a filmmaker and a media consultant, and I'm also your host. All right, today on Nollywood Online Film School, we'll be talking about common mistakes young producers make. Uh, the process of filmmaking is very technical, a process where you select a script, a story, you get actors, you get cast, you get directors, and at the end of the day, you hope to make money. Production process is actually broken into three different dimensions. We have the pre-production, we have the production, and we have the post-production, which also entails distribution. Now, for young filmmakers, they make a whole lot of mistakes, which I'm actually going to be treating on this short time with you here. So if you've not subscribed to my channel, I want you to hurriedly go subscribe to the channel right now, click notification button, comment section, and if there's just anything you want to hear, let me know. All right, the first mistake young producers make is the lack training. You see, if you cannot give what you do not have. If you know you want to go into production as a producer, the first thing you need to do is to go for training. Just get trained. Now, when I mean training, I'm not really talking about going to the university. You can actually get trained. There are two forms of training in life. We have the formal training, where you go to a conventional school, university, training institution, or wherever, or the informal training, where you get a mentor to mentor you. So first of all, you get trained as a producer. When you do not get trained, you're actually going to make a lot of mistakes. When you now get training, you're not going to be hearing from people who've gone before you, who've made some mistakes that they will not want you to repeat. There were some mistakes I made as a young producer that young producers now do not get to make those mistakes. So I tend to share my experiences with them, let them understand, let them know that these things are mistakes that will mar you from becoming the producer you want to become. And the most difficult part of filmmaking is actually not the first job. The most difficult part of filmmaking is getting money for your second production. So if you really want to go into the business of filmmaking, the first thing I want you to understand and do is to get training. When you've now gotten training, the next thing you should need to do is to build a very solid network of people who have the same minds like you. You want to become a producer. Do not start going to now learn how to make every other part of the film process. If you want to become a producer, get training as a producer. Now begin to collaborate with other directors who also share the same ideas and visions like you. Now what this does for you now is that you're not actually going to spend so much money going to hire people, because you've gotten people who are sharing the same passion with you, who are so passionate about this profession, who really want to get things done. So they will really want to come and work for you. You now see a scriptwriter who has a script, who's looking for someone to produce. You see a director who really wants to direct. He doesn't really care about making money as a director. All he wants is just to get his name as a director. You see actors who are ready to act. They have this passion in them to act, so they really want to make a name for themselves. So when you've now gotten training as a producer, the next thing now is to now begin to look for these collaborations. Look for people around you who who want to share the same vision with you. They will now come on board on your project, and before you know it, voila, you've actually made your first film. Now, another thing you should learn to do, another mistake young producers do, is that they want to start their projects big. It's actually wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should not start big, right? I'm not saying you should not think big, but learn to start small. Now, an average Nollywood film, you want to make an average Nollywood film, you need between 3 million naira to 5 million naira. Now, everybody will not have that kind of money to try around. So what you should now learn to do is try to learn to get a very small project to start with. Get a very small project, a project that is not going to break your bank, a project not going to stress you, something you're going to shoot within your own environment. Get a project that you can shoot either in your room, in your sitting room, your backyard, the field, anywhere that you're not going to pay any money to do. Get to look for those stories. Do not start looking for projects that you need to spend so much money, you need to go to the airport, you need to travel very distant places. No, get something you can do within your circle. Once you start doing that, you're bound not to make some mistakes that your colleagues are going to make or might have made. That will not make you easily shoot your second film. Another thing you should understand, another mistake you should not make as a producer is, before you shoot, please define where you want to sell your film. Define where you want to sell your film. When you do not define where you want to sell your film, you are actually going to have a problem. Now, why you should define where you're going to sell your film is that if you're going to be selling a film to African Magic Epic, you should understand how much they buy a film for. When you now know how much they buy a film for, you should now know how to cut down your budget. Now, African Magic is divided into different stages. We have African Magic Epic, we have African Magic Urban, we have African Magic Showcase. Now, all of these platforms have a particular fee or amount they pay for. So you cannot go and shoot above the budget they are going to buy your film. So I see young producers who plan to film for channels that do not pay more than 5 million, go to now use 10 million naira to film. You've already lost as a business person, because the producer is actually the business person. So the first thing you should understand is, ask your market. Now, why you also need to know your market is it also helps you to make the judgment about the equipment to use, about the actors you want to use. There are some particular actors who some platforms do not buy. This is, the whole system is filled with clicks. There are platforms that Iroko can tell you, okay, we don't want to work with this person, we don't work with this person. There are some actors who have been blacklisted. As a producer, you never ask questions. You want to shoot, you want to do a movie, for instance, for Netflix, and you did not find out if XYZ was blacklisted from Netflix, and you're not going to shoot the film and take to Netflix, they will definitely not collect it. So the first thing you need to do is ask all those fundamental questions. Ask those questions, get to know what the distributors want, so that when you bring your film to them, they will definitely collect it. Another mistake producers do, young producers mostly do, is they do not know how to show appreciation. People come to you now to make a film, right? You should learn to say thank you. You should learn to give them transport, even if you're not paying them as in pay. You try to give them transport. You try to make sure that they have what to eat. When they do all of this, you are bound not to make mistakes as a producer. There's every tendency that when you call them for your next project, they will definitely come. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you understand that there are a couple of few mistakes upcoming producers make, which I do not want you to make when you're making your next film, so that you don't run into problems. Because if you consistently make this mistake, your tendency of you getting money to make your next project will definitely not be there. It's going to be a no-no. You're bound to fail as a producer. And I tell people the most difficult part of filmmaking is making the second one. You can actually make the first one, you go able to convince people you want to make a film, and they now give you money. When they now give you money, they expect you to bring returns. If they not expect you to bring returns and you do not bring returns because you made a mistake in that one, you're definitely bound to have issues. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not make this mistake of not breaking even with your first film. Even if you do not make so much profit, try not to lose. I could also share my first experience with you as a producer. I actually produced my first film in 2007. That was a long time ago, 2007. I just finished from secondary school. Secondary school then. And I had this gift of writing. And I now saw someone who had 300,000 naira to put in a film. 300,000 in 2007 was actually playing a lot of money, But the bad thing in it now is that I was not experienced because I was not trained. That was the first mistake. I lacked training. I just felt I knew when I didn't know anything. I knew how to write. That you can write is not enough for you to think you can become a good producer. You can write, it's a gift, but you need to harness it. You need to upgrade. You need to unlearn what you think you know for you to now know more. Now, I didn't get trained, and I made those bloody mistakes as a producer, and the film never came out. You understand? And that is where we were. But God was able to help us. We were able to navigate. And I went to school in Unical. I did theater arts, and I was able to get better understanding. When I worked with somebody like Teko Benson in my first film, and so by special grace of God, we are where we are today. So please don't be like me by making the mistakes to learn. Rather, learn from my mistakes so that you can become a better producer, and then you can do all those big projects you've always wanted to make. All right. Thank you so much, people, for coming on Raw Impact Africa TV today. And it was Nollywood Online Film School, and we're talking about common mistakes upcoming producers make, which I do not want you to make. On my next video, I will definitely bring something new to you. And if there's something you want to hear about on this channel, do not hesitate to let me know and we'll talk about it. Please subscribe to our channel, click notification button, comment, like, and share. And if there's just any topic you want us to treat on Nollywood Online Film School, let me know. And guess what? I'm going to talk about it. All right, I'm signing out. Thank you and God bless you all. Bye-bye.